Today, I'm going to be showing you exactly how 7, 8, and even 9-figure clothing brands are actually run. Have you ever wondered how clothing brands such as Represent, Named Collective, or Manière d'Avoir are able to scale to tens of millions of dollars in revenue per year? Well, watch until the end because I'm going to be unveiling the 5 building blocks of every 7, 8, and 9-figure clothing business. Now, if you're watching this right now, you're probably a solo entrepreneur or clothing brand owner with no team, no employees, and no help. You pretty much do everything yourself, from marketing to designing to even managing the production of your collections. But when you look at successful brands such as Racer Worldwide, these brands have big teams. What do all these people do within each organization? Every company has what is called an organizational chart, essentially a map of each distinct role and function within a business. This is what the organizational chart of a 9-figure business should look like. The chart is pretty complex, so let's break it down and build it back up so you can see exactly how it's constructed. What are the core building blocks of every successful clothing business? The most obvious aspect of a clothing business is, well, the clothing. In order to produce the clothing, you need to design it. This brings us to the very first building block of every clothing business: design. Design is one of the big 5 functions of every 8 and 9-figure clothing brand. The brand identity of any given brand is built upon the foundational design of its products. The key role in the design function is designer. And in the beginning, you're probably the only designer, but big brands have several design roles, ranging from creative director, CD, you have your head of menswear, and then you have your head of women's wear. Usually the head of menswear and head of women's wear, they report up to the creative director. So for example, a creative director like Pharrell has a head of women's wear and a head of menswear working underneath him to develop the menswear lines and the women's wear lines of the brand. And then also you have down to the base level designers, fashion designers, apparel designers, fashion design, technical design, graphic design. These people report up to usually the head of women's wear and or head of menswear. Or if they have a lot of different functions and products within the menswear category, for example, you can have outerwear, tops, denim, then you'd even have more people below it and have a head denim, and then you'd have all of these people right here, and you'd have a whole new set of them that are purely focused on denim, and then a whole new set of them that are purely focused on outerwear. So as you can see, as you grow bigger and bigger, you're going to just have so many designers working under each type of garment piece, and they all report up to head of menswear, head of women's wear, which all report up to creative director. Now, you're probably literally all of them right now. But as you grow, you'll be able to hire more and more people. First, you're going to hire, a fashion designer. Then you're going to hire maybe 2 graphic designers to support the fashion designer, and so on and so forth. All of these roles live within the design sphere, and their collective priority is to pump out collection after collection, drop after drop, to further progress the brand's identity and increase the sales. Now, after the designers cook up their designs, their ideas need to be produced into something tangible that can actually be sold to customers. This brings us to the second fundamental building block of every clothing business: production. So after the design, you now have production. The production and supply chain is arguably the most critical component of any fashion business. You can create the most beautiful and intricate designs in the world, and you can market them like crazy, but without someone who will focus on communicating and working with your manufacturing partners, you literally have no physical products to even sell to your end consumers. Once you have created the piece, the fashion designers over here hand off the designs to the production team. And the person in charge of this role is usually called the production manager. Now, these production managers, they take the designs from the fashion designers and work with the factories and manufacturers to turn them into actual physical pieces. Oftentimes, these production managers are the ones creating the tech packs that are given to the factory so that the factory knows exactly what specifications you want. And for those of you that don't know, a tech pack is basically just a PDF, maybe 5 to 10 pages long, that has your measurements, your components, your materials, your bill of materials, that basically when the factory receives a tech pack, they can look at it. And it's literally just a blueprint of everything that someone who wants to make the piece, they would know everything in this blueprint that they need to go and do that, to bulk produce the piece and make 100 or 1,000 of them that are going to be exactly the same as the tech pack specifications. Now that your production managers have your pieces completely produced, it is time to find a way to get people, customers, to purchase these physical pieces that have been produced. And this is what the third building block is for. The third building block is marketing. Now, there's a ton of roles within marketing. For example, paid ads. This includes like Facebook, Meta, TikTok, Google, Snap. There's retention marketing, which is mostly your email, your SMS. And then you have head of partnerships, which is basically someone who works with influencers or works with, a newsletter or a podcast. And then you have something such as a social media manager. All of the different roles basically just represents the different ways of increasing your revenue, whether it's through cold traffic Facebook ads or using email and SMS marketing to market to your current customers. Okay, now that you have all these methods of marketing, right? You have all these methods of marketing. How do you even get the content, photos, and videos to use in this marketing and social media effort? Well, that comes to your fourth building block, which is content. Content, right? So let's do a quick refresher. First, you started with the design of the product. You turned it into physical products. You are marketing the product to get people to purchase it. And now you need content to be able to complete that marketing. And this is the fourth building block. In order for marketing to do their job, they need to be provided with creatives. What are creatives? Well, simply put, a creative is the aggregation of content that a brand creates, whether it's lookbooks, editorials, video creatives, flyers or flat lays, white box photos, in-studio white box photos, and the people that are related to the content building block of a business. Number one, obviously, is the head of content. Under them, there'll be, an in-house photographer. So you have photos, you'll have a stylist, and they don't even have to be in-house, but they are, contract or on a per project basis. But the head of content will be managing the photographer, the stylist, the models, essentially just organizing to create content for the brand. Anytime you do a photo shoot, a video campaign, etc., the head of content is going to be making sure that it all runs smoothly. Now that you have the content for marketing, you pretty much have a good business, right? You can make maybe like a $1 million a year business, maybe $2 million a year business. But if you want to scale a 3, 5, 10, $100 million business, you need something besides just the clothing and just the marketing. I'll give you an example. How would you even know that you're making money? Who's tracking that, right? The designers are not tracking that. They're in Photoshop, they're in Illustrator, they're not in Excel, they're not in QuickBooks. So who's tracking it? Well, that brings us to the fifth building block, which is going to be your operations and your ops. Your ops. This is huge. This is huge. This is the part of the business I truly love, because other entrepreneurs are not focusing on their operations. So a lot of the times they're running their business, they don't even know that they're unprofitable the entire time. Or they're running their business and they don't have customer service, which is a part of operations, and their customers are not getting replies. You've all shopped at streetwear brands and they simply are not replying to you after you purchase. In short, operations is all of the functions that I have not mentioned yet that basically glue the company together. Without operations, there can be no scale, because every time the company would grow, it would just crash because of the lack of operational excellence. And included in that is finance. So finance, like I was saying earlier, you need to know your expenses. You need to know how much you're spending on creative. You need to know how much you're spending on ads, how much you're spending on models, et cetera, how much you're spending on the damn clothing. Like, you don't know how much you're making unless you have someone that's tracking it. Now, like I said earlier, customer service, CX, which just stands for customer experience, customer service. You need customer service. Your customers cannot just purchase from you and then not hear from you again if they reach out asking for like a question or an exchange, right? Because if they're going to think that you're not replying to them, then they're not going to shop with you again, because it's like, oh my God, they might scam me or something like that. The role that manages this is pretty much just like a head of customer service. Finance would just be like CFO, head of finance, financial analyst, and last but not least, fulfillment. Okay, you have the clothes, you can market them, you get the content, blah, blah, blah. You can track your profits and you can answer customers. There's still one piece left of the puzzle. How are you going to get these clothings to your customer? And that is someone who manages fulfillment. So it depends on whether you have a 3PL, which is a third-party logistics company who does fulfillment for you, or you have an in-house warehouse with an in-house team to manage the warehouse and hire workers that will literally come in and fulfill for you. You need finance, customer service, and fulfillment. Now, these aren't necessarily directly related to the product. They're not necessarily related to the creative, but they are necessary in order to help a business run. And there you have it. Design, production, marketing, content, and operations, the 5 building blocks that every 7, 8, and 9-figure clothing company has. If you liked this video, if you learned something from this video, or even if you knew all of this information, but you think someone else would like this information, please like, comment, and share it with that person. It would help. I'm trying to grow this channel. I feel like we need to level up the content in the streetwear/clothing brand world, and that's what I'm here for. So until next time, new videos will be coming out soon. Peace.